I'm going to show you the ultimate comfort food, and it's a beef and carrot hot pot. So it is, or you can call it a casserole. We're using some lovely beef, lots of lovely carrots, onion, some potatoes. Everything goes into the pot, which I'm going to talk about in a moment with some stock. This is a recipe taken from my new book. So this is Learn to Cook with Nevin. So we have 80 recipes, lovely recipes, and then there are 4 different stages per recipe. So this is the one I'm going to show you now, beef and carrot hot pot. So tasty, and the key is getting really good quality beef. That is the key for this. So we're going to talk about the beef. I've already browned it off because that takes about 10-12 minutes. So this is some lovely beef it's the Irish Angus die steak, the Puree quality mark, and all I've done just in the casserole pot is browned it off. So if you do it in batches, kind of split the recipe into, cut it and kind of brown it off just with a little bit of oil, and that's it. You can toss that in a little bit of flour, and that will actually help thicken your casserole. So I'm going to show you how to just simply chop an onion. I already have half it done here, so just using my knife here. So we just go 3/4 to the end of the onion. Okay, and then this is really important. So hold this together. You make 2 incisions. That's one, and then we have another one there. And then if you curve your fingers like that, and you're holding the onion together, and then just simply just run that down there. So when you get near the end, it gets a little bit like this, and then all I do is just literally keeping the onion kind of flat, and then chop that. It doesn't have to be too finely chopped, don't worry about that. So just keep the very root, just take that off, and then this is going to go into the saucepan. So that's a full onion that I've done there. So just using your board, scrape that in, just turn that up, and into the same pan that I sealed off the beef. That's the key, because you're going to get lots of lovely flavour in there. Okay, a couple of carrots. We peel them. So we're going to cut them at an angle if you want. So we've 4 carrots here. So just peel them with a potato peeler, and then they're going to go in there too. So I'm keeping this really, really simple. There's no wine in this. It's just the ultimate, for me, comfort food. And one of the first things that I would have learned to make really with my mother, and that's where I got the love of food, from my mother Vera. So in goes your carrots. And then I'm going to coat everything with that lovely flavours from the actual beef. So give that a nice stir. Put a little bit more rapeseed oil, just a splash. And just while that is just cooking away there with all the lovely flavours, we're just going to half our potatoes. Now I'm using the baby potatoes, but this is lovely. Serve with rice or a big bowl of mash. I already have one cooked because it takes 1 hour and 20 minutes to cook. So the key is to brown off the beef in batches. That's really, really important. Now, so that's our baby potatoes. Keeping the skin on, so you're getting all the goodness in there. And then just stir that. I'm not looking to get colour. The colour is in the beef. And that goes back in here, and scraping any juice there just with my spatula. You just combine all this together. We're going to put in tomato puree. You can use a can of tomatoes, but I like tomato puree in this. And we're going to use some Worcester sauce. And I'm going to put in 2 big spoonfuls of the Worcester sauce. So this is the key flavouring for this. Works really well in mince, stews, all that. So I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of that. And then you just stir this through. You're kind of coating. So what I did, before you brown off the beef, take it out of the fridge, bring it to room temperature. So it kind of relaxes the meat. And then you toss it in a wee bit of flour, and then you just literally fry it in rapeseed oil. So just see the way I've just kind of coated all the ingredients there with the tomato puree and the Worcester. This is some beef stock, which we're going to use. Just cover that. And then in goes the potatoes. Now you can cook this in the oven. I cooked it just on the heat here on low simmer. So that's really important that you keep stirring it, say, every 20 minutes, or it'll catch. And then we just stir that all through. So that's my parsley, just to finish the one there in a moment. Now, so stir this through, the lid goes on. And this is my new casserole pot that can go into the oven It's heavy, I can tell you that. It is cast iron, it can go into the oven, it can be used in induction and in gas. That's a great piece. We also have a red one, and we're going to be bringing out a grey one very, very soon, but this is the blue one. It's a lovely colour, the feedback has been excellent on this, but they are not light, they're good cast iron, and they're fantastic. So let's move over here. So let me recap. That comes back to the boil, and then you turn down the heat and let that simmer. Really important. And it's going to take about an hour. Mine took about an hour and 20 minutes. So that really depends on the thickness of the beef or the size of the beef. This is the one here that we've cooked already. Okay, so just bring that back to the boil, and I just want to show it to you here. So it will thicken up, and that's the flour and everything, and this is the beef. So we just get a knife, just check is it cooked? It should be perfectly cooked. So that just goes falling apart there. You can just get another piece if you want it. Yeah, just at the side, that might have been better there. It's tender. Lovely flavour. I really like the Worcester sauce in it. Now I'm just going to finish it with some salt, and then what I'm going to do is just chop some parsley. And what I like to do with a dish like this is to place this on the table and let everyone help themselves. So just with a little bit of parsley, I'm using flat leaf parsley here. Just chop this all together, and then we're going to sprinkle this just all over here, just using the knife there. So for me, it's the ultimate comfort food. So you can see there, Mel, nice big chunks of carrot. We have the potatoes, we have the stock there. And if you don't want to use flour, you can just use some gluten-free flour, but you can also use some corn flour, and then scrape all this down here. So this is where the flavour comes in. So really important, when it does come to the boil, you reduce the heat, do it on a low gas. And that's it there. I don't think you need anything else with that. So this recipe is taken from a new book. The whole idea is that for anyone that wants to cook and wants to learn about cooking, and you can be any age, it doesn't matter if you're a child or a teenager or an adult, it's never too late to learn. Because I got the love of food, to say, from my mother. So that's it there. Learn to cook with Nevin. So you can look it up online or go to Gill Books and they tell you where you can buy it. I hope you enjoy this very, very simple recipe. For me, coming into the winter months, it's flavoursome. It's a one pot dish. So you can see this is what it's coming like now, just to the boil. So see the way that? So when you cook that and keep stirring it, that's really, really important. You end up with this here. It does take a little bit of preparation, just peeling your vegetables, your onion, chopping that, and your carrot, and I think that nice tender beef is so full of flavour. Once you get this technique right, you can use pork, you can use lamb, you can use lots of other meats. So that's my beef and carrot hot pot. Thank you.